Hi everybody, it's Shawn with ShawnWarrenFineArt.com, and I wanted just to do a little short clip about varnishes. I'm not going to show you how to varnish, but I have found some really good oil varnishes that I'm happy with, and I want to talk a little bit about varnishing and oil painting. If you use liquid or a medium, you know that your paint is going to have, your finished painting is going to have shiny spots, and it's going to have dull spots, and you got to do something about that. And not only that, but you do have to protect your painting. So a couple of things that I found as I'm working on the painting, I can either use some liquid on it. I also do oil the painting out in between layers. So I always have a wet layer that I'm working on. I oil that out with linseed oil or with liquid. Another thing you can also do is, this is Damar Retouch Varnish, and you can spray this on your painting and it'll help bring the sunken spots out so that the whole painting looks more even in the gloss. So this is okay also to spray on your finished painting before you put on your final varnish. It takes months for, as you know, for an oil painting to dry enough before you can put a final varnish on it. It's really bad to put liquid on it or to put a final varnish on before that point, because that oil paint needs to be able to, there's a chemical reaction that happens, and it may feel dry to the touch, but it's not dry underneath. And if you put that varnish on, it's going to cause cracking, and it's not a good thing for your painting. So in that case, what I do, if I have a painting, for instance, that needs to go in a gallery, I will go ahead, and this is safe. If the Damar varnish is safe to spray on your painting before the final varnish. It smells horrible, so you want to do this outside. It's really toxic. It has turpentine in it, so it's really pretty icky, but it is safe. You can put it on between layers, or you can put it on your finished piece. Don't forget though that you still have to put on a final varnish after the painting is completely dry. But this will allow the painting basically to breathe and be able to dry properly. The other product that I found that I really like is called Gamvar, and this is a liquid varnish. I prefer to put on a liquid varnish. I find that it's easier for me to get a consistent, even coat when I use liquid varnish. And what I usually use is I use a foam brush for applying it, rather than something that's got bristles and it's going to leave streaks. So this is good for acrylics and oil painting, and I love that because I also do acrylic, and it's really helpful to have something that works on both of them. This also is not stinky. It does contain petroleum distillates, and it does say it is still toxic and you should keep it out of reach of children, but it also is safe enough that it says it's virtually odorless and ready to apply. And I can attest to that. I did use it outside, but if it's wintertime or whatever and it's too cold to use outside, you can use this inside. As long as you do have some ventilation going through, I think it'll be fine. I like the way it goes on. The painting behind me right here, I used it on, this is an acrylic painting. I used it on this acrylic painting, and I was pretty happy with the way it went on. So one of the things too that I wanted to tell you is, a lot of times I don't want a gloss finish. This is actually a semi-gloss. It's not super glossy, but it's actually glossier than what I would prefer. So what I normally do is I would go ahead and put this on as my final varnish, and you may need to put a few coats on and just try to even up the gloss of the whole painting overall. It's okay if it's shiny, but just try not to have any spots that are shinier or duller than others. So it may take you a few coats, and you may have to kind of distribute your varnish, you know, according to the areas that need it the most. After that's completely dry, I wait a few days, and then I love to use wax medium. It's made from beeswax and turpentine, and I like a matte finish on a lot of my pieces. I don't like the way that when the light hits it, you can see the brush strokes going different directions, and you can just, I don't like it. It's icky looking. Some things it's great for, Especially like I do old cars and old trucks, and I really want them to have more of an antique look. I don't want them to be real glossy. It just kind of is inconsistent to me. So what you do with this, it's just like kind of like wax that you put on your car. Looks like that, and it's soft. You don't have to heat it up or anything. You just apply it with a lint-free rag, wipe it all over there, and then you let it dry. I usually let it dry till the next day, and then you take a soft lint-free cloth and you buff it, just like you would your car. You buff it everywhere, and it gets rid of the gloss, and it leaves it with a nice matte finish. So these are some new products that I found, not necessarily new, but just ones that I think I've talked about this before, but I have not talked about the other two products before. So those are some options that you have for varnishing your paintings. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.